Wesberry V Sanders is all about the one-man, one-vote principle. It was another redistricting case that was held in 1964 concerning the gerrymandering that was taking place in Georgia. Background information. The background of this case started when some of the higher-ups were accused of gerrymandering. Gerrymandering is the practice of dividing a city, state, or country into voting districts to favor the party or power of some other group. Senator Wesberry filed a suit against Governor Sanders protesting the state's apportionment scheme. The 5th Congressional District, of which Wesberry was a member of, had a population that was 2 to 3 times larger than some of the other districts in the same state. Wesberry claimed that the system diluted his right to vote compared to other Georgia residents. So much that its single congressman had to represent 2 to 3 times as many voters than the other Georgia districts. Because so many people in an area's votes were being diluted due to the fact that they only had one congressman representing them. Too many opinions were not being fairly represented. On Article 1, Section 2 of the U.S. Constitution, which reads, "The House of Representatives shall be composed of members chosen every second year by the people of the states." And on Section 2 of the 14th Amendment, which reads, "Representatives shall be apportioned among the several states according to their respective numbers." Not the first time a problem like this has reached the courts. In 1962, the Supreme Court began what became known as the reapportionment revolution, starting with Baker v. Carr. It was decided that the federal courts had the power to order the reconfiguration of state election districts. The next significant case was Gray v. Sanders, which entirely started this case in the first place. It established the one-person, one-vote principle. However, when this case was heard by a 3-panel judge, his case was simply relied on an earlier Supreme Court precedent in Colgrove v. Green in 1946. The precedent set currently was that the reapportionment was a political question outside of court jurisdiction. After being dismissed by the district court, Wesberry then appealed his case to the Supreme Court. Congressional districts violated the 14th Amendment or deprived citizens of the full benefit of their right to vote was taken to the Supreme Court. It was under Chief Justice Earl Warren. They found that, as they did in Baker, the malapportionment of districts gave the plaintiffs standing and presented them with a justifiable issue. The court also found that Section 2, Article 1 of the Constitution requires that one person's vote should be equal to another person's. They found that Georgia's districts were unconstitutional, and the ruling was 6 voters in favor of Wesberry and 3 were against. That was the idea of one man, one law became a reality by law. 1964, Wesberry v. Sanders case said, "No right is more precious in a free country than having a voice in the election of those who make the laws under which, as good citizens, we must live. Other rights, even the most basic, are illusionary if the right to vote is undermined." As said by Justice Black, the right to vote is too important in our free society to be stripped of judicial protection. The 1931 Georgia apportionment grossly discriminated against voters in the 5th Congressional District, thus contracts the vote value of some votes and expands that of others. If the federal Constitution intends that when qualified voters elect the members of Congress, each vote will be given as much weight as any other, then this statute cannot stand. The vote turned out 6-3 in the favor of Wesberry, with getting us the saying "one person, one vote." The court held that Georgia's apportionment scheme grossly discriminated against the voters in the 5th Congressional District, but luckily now this is all changed. Thanks to the case, apportionment is fair and proper, leading for equal representation for all.